Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I'm going to babble for a little bit while people file in, fill in, whatever. I am supposed to be doing trial prep today. I did not do as much as I wanted to. I've got a 2-day trial coming up on Thursday and Friday. And so yesterday I did trial prep. Tomorrow I'll do trial prep. Today I was going to do trial prep, and it seemed like all hell broke loose. I have a fish tank that has some bleeding heart tetras in it, and among other fish. And one of them has a fungus patch on its side. It's had that fungus patch on its side for, I don't know, 3 weeks or so, and maybe 4 weeks. And I've been treating it with Pimafix and Melafix. And hello. Um, and I did that for at least 2 weeks, and that's my go-to. It's not like it's not bad stuff. It's like eucalyptus oil and stuff. And anyway, the fungal patch got smaller, but it didn't go away. So I went and got some. I think it was made by Fritz. It was designed specifically to do fungal infections. So I did a water change and everything, and I treated with that particular medicine. You add it once and you leave it for a week. So I did that, and right towards the end of the week, last week, I noticed that two fish that were kind of hiding, they were acting kind of weird, kind of like stressed out, breathing heavy, not swimming well. So it looked like a biological bacterial infection. So I rushed down to the store, I don't know, Saturday night, got some erythromycin, started feeding them, or started dosing the tank. It's a 4-day fix. So yesterday was the last day of it. Did a water change yesterday, partial water change, added carbon to the tank. The two fish looked better. The two fish that had shown some signs of issue, they looked better. They didn't look great though. They looked better. And then this morning I go and I check out the fish room. I look at that tank, and they're acting all stressed again. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? So I did a water test, and my ammonia's through the roof. And so I was actually going to set up aquaponics. I just kill plants way too much. I'm deadly with plants, and it takes a lot of space that I didn't want to devote to it. So anyway, I guess the erythromycin had killed off all the biological filtration, and so they were just swimming in urine. So I had to deal with that today. And then we got barn cats, and we got my sister's dog. 3 barn cats and a new dog, and our dogs were due for the rabies shots and everything. So instead of taking them all down to the vet, we had a mobile vet come out today. And my dogs are great. I guess they're all my dogs now. Well, then come on out and do it, dude. Like no one's holding you up. I got a cold greenhouse I could set it up in. So my dogs are great. Ever since I've had them, I stick my fingers in their ears and their mouths, between their little toes on their paws. I get them used to being touched. So like they're great. I mean, they don't like to have like their ears cleaned out or their anal glands expressed, but they're fine with it. My sister's dog, oh my fucking God. He's a cool dog. He's a good dog, but boy, you try to get him into well, first of all, he'll snap and bite, and then you try to get him into a muzzle, and that he'll So I'm there, like I've got the dog in a chokehold trying to wrangle a muzzle on, and we finally got a muzzle on. We got it enough that he can get a rabies shot, but we had to send you a plane ticket. Oh damn, son. So we got him the rabies shot. We didn't do a blood draw. We're we're going to have to get him dosed up. The vet gave us prescriptions for a bunch of drugs to knock him on his ass for the next time she comes out. So that's where we're at. So anyway, now it seems like everybody's come in here. I appreciate everybody coming by. The first thing we're going to look at is Turner versus the city of Corrigan. Now, for those of you who don't remember this, Corrigan apparently had put up signs about filming into police cars, around police cars, also in their inside of the police lobby. They had a bunch of signs. There was a city ordinance that said you can't film there, and they put up a bunch of signs saying you can't film there. Somebody by the name of James White went down there. He got arrested for filming. I think it was like a $500 fine. And then Philip Turner, the Batusai of Turner v. Driver fame, went down there and misunderstood what the Turner v. Driver decision was, because he expressly applied it to being able to film inside of the police lobby, which obviously that doesn't work. That would be more of an Adderley versus Florida situation. That's not a traditional public forum, unless the Fifth Circuit decides to go the same route as the First Circuit did, which kind of broke away from everybody and said that there is this other right that you have to film the police that's independent of a forum analysis. You always have the right, and it's just subject to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions, even in places where normally you don't have your where you wouldn't normally have a lot of rights, like in a non-public forum. So what happened was they had this ordinance, and then like the day after they wrote the tickets, Philip Turner called. This is all in the complaint. The day after, or a day or two after, he called and talked to the city attorney, and the city attorney's like, don't worry, I think the judge is going to dismiss it. Well, anyway, the city of Corrigan ended up dismissing it, and they also ended up repealing this particular ordinance. Now, that doesn't mean that they're accepting that Turner v. Driver was compelling case law that controlled the situation, but the statute as written was overbroad. It's very akin to U.S. v. Grace, where there was legislation by Congress stating what you could and couldn't do on Supreme Court grounds. And in U.S. v. Grace, the Supreme Court said, well, look, there are some sidewalks that are actually Supreme Court grounds, but they look identical to any other sidewalk in the world. They abut the main street. There's no restrictions on the public using them, just for normal walking down the street kind of purposes. And because this particular legislation attempts to curtail speech on those public sidewalks, it's overbroad. In order for there to be a restriction on speech on a public sidewalk, either it has to pass strict scrutiny, or it has to be a reasonable time, place, and manner restriction. Now, the city of Corrigan, their ordinance would have probably been overbroad. It probably would not have passed strict scrutiny, and it probably would have been found to be unconstitutional. But we're never going to know, because it's gone. They eliminated it. So Turner and White ended up suing anyway. They have four causes of action, but it's basically three causes of action. The first cause of action is First Amendment retaliation. I don't think that that's going to fly because this is against the police officers. And the reason why I don't think that's going to fly is because the police officers were enforcing an ordinance. Their second cause of action is a Fourth Amendment violation for unlawful seizure, i.e. they were arrested and cited for filming. And the third one is for, again, another Fourth Amendment violation, unlawful search and seizure, because I believe they took some of the filming equipment. So there's the Fourth Amendment one, unlawful seizure, and then this is the unlawful search and seizure. And then the fifth one is Manila liability, and that would be like the closest one, but I don't think it's going to go too far. Now Now, for those of you who are wondering why we're talking about this, because I don't think it's going to go very far, at least not in the way it's pled. And the reason why is because an actual attorney wrote this. And so if you look at his damages, he's asking for actual damages. So there's actual damages that were suffered by the plaintiffs. I don't know what exactly those are. It might be the cost of equipment. It might be lost wages. Then they have punitive exemplary damages. So they're entitled, if they could prove that actual malice or malicious or whatever, evil motive or intent, then they might be entitled to punitive damages. Now, punitive damages are limited by the Supreme Court to somewhere around 10% or 10 times actual damages. So whatever this number is, whatever the actual damages are, punitive is going to be at most about 10 times that. They haven't figured out the exact multiplier, but we're pretty sure it's somewhere around 10 times. 10 times to be constitutionally allowable. Above that, it is a Eighth Amendment violation, I believe, cruel and unusual punishment or something along those lines. I forget what exactly the rationale was, but so then they're also asking for nominal damages in the amount of $1. Why would they do that? Well, because they can actually get that. They might not have actual damages. If they don't have actual damages, they're not going to get punitive damages, but they are entitled to nominal damages. If the court says, you're right, here's your dollar, go away, there you go. Pre-judgment, post-judgment interest, I don't know if they're allowed that. Cost of court, if they prevail, they are probably allowed the cost of court. That's going to be the cost of the filing fee, cost of service, etc. This is probably why the attorney's involved. The attorney's probably involved because if he prevails, he is probably entitled to attorney's fees. And it would be the actual reasonable attorney's fees and then any other further legal or equitable relief the court may deem just and proper. This would probably something along the lines of where the court just says, this particular practice is unlawful or unconstitutional. So that is the Turner versus Richard complaint. I will try to keep track of it. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what happens with it, because there was an ordinance that had not been found to be unconstitutional, and the police were enforcing that ordinance. I don't know how the police are going to be liable, so it will be interesting. And if he does prevail, then great. All right. The next thing we're going to deal with, this is a Wallace pleading. This is defendant LVMPD's limited opposition to plaintiffs. So I was under the impression that that all the defendants, except for the state of Nevada, were represented. Oh, okay. So I was wrong. I thought all of the police officers were being represented by Craig Anderson. I was wrong. So Craig Anderson is solely representing LVMPD. You know what? Let me look up Decastro versus LVMPD and parties and attorneys. So on this one, he's representing everybody. That's where I got confused. Mondo Confuso. All right. But in Wallace, he is only representing LVMPD. Okay. So, learned something today. So they filed their limited opposition to his motion to extend time to respond. He's seeking another extension to respond to LVMPD's motion to strike plaintiff's complaint. Wallace claims LVMPD did not oppose him, moving this court to stay proceedings until he could find counsel. Wallace requests until September 15th, 2023 or longer to respond to the motion to strike. Now, as far as the stay the court proceedings until he could find counsel, from my limited observations, what normally happens is if If the court does refer him to the pro bono panel, then the court would stay the proceedings until he can get an attorney. The court saying, look, I'm going to let you go to this pro bono panel to get an attorney. It wouldn't make sense for the court at that point to continue with things, because the court would have made a determination that this guy needs an attorney, and he's reasonably entitled to an attorney. Maybe entitled is a strong word. He's qualified for receipt of an attorney. And one of the things that the court, or some of the things the court would be looking at, would be his ability to respond to the pleadings coherently, his ability to maybe be able to settle the case, just generally speaking, the complexity of the case, how much it would help the court to have him be represented. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for the court to keep charging down that road. If the court says you need an attorney, the court's going to stay the proceedings. So, but the court didn't refer him to the pro bono panel, so the court didn't stay the proceedings. So, and there's no reason for the court to, because, well, cowboy, you saddled up to go on this ride. You're in it. You were able to file this. You can keep going until you find an attorney, and if you can't find an attorney, well, that's kind of sucks. I've been wrong multiple times. Just go to my channel and look at mea culpas. I mean, I prefer to eat the crow when it's young and tender, because I don't like to eat the crow when it's old and tough. So LVMPD does not oppose Wallace's request to extend his deadline to respond to LVMPD's motion to strike to September 15, 2023. I don't think that LVMPD is terribly worried about Wallace's request to extend the deadline, because they're not worried about his response. Then they, number 2, I guess, in their list, I don't know why they bullet pointed it instead of numbered it. LVMPD has never agreed to stay the proceedings until Wallace could find counsel. LVMPD was never contacted and therefore never agreed to Wallace's current request. That's pretty damning. LVMPD objects to any further extensions as Wallace cannot establish good cause. Cannot or did not, I don't know. I don't think he established good cause, but I don't know if he could not establish good cause. FRCP 6B states in pertinent part, extending time in general, when an act may or must be done within a specified time, the court may, for good cause, extend the time, A, with or without motion, or notice of the court acts, or if a request is made before the original time or its extension expires, or on a motion made after the time has expired, the party failed to act because of excusable neglect. So this is the section that we're looking at. So the motion or notice is not expired, I do not believe, because they had agreed to September 15th to extend it to. So what the court is going to look at is there good cause, and then does the court want to give it to them? It is discretionary. Legal argument. On July 25th, 2023, Wallace emailed LVMPD counsel and asked for an extension to respond to LVMPD's motion to strike. See a true and correct copy of emails between Craig Anderson Esquire and Wallace. Attached here to is Exhibit A. Wallace agreed, or LVMPD agreed to Wallace's request up to and including August 15th, 2023. August 15th is passed. Oopsie doodles. On July 26, 2023, Wallace emailed undersigned counsel asking if LVMPD would oppose Wallace's motion to be referred to the pro bono panel and to stay the proceedings. And then this is Exhibit B. LVMPD's counsel stated no objection would be made to Wallace's pro bono case, and LVMPD would, quote, let the court work it out, end quote. Let the court work it out. Let the court work out the stay? LVMPD never agreed to stay the case. 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 LVMPD never agreed After the email exchange, Wallace unsuccessfully attempted to obtain pro bono counsel. Wallace has never requested any further extensions to respond to its motion to strike. Now, somebody, I think it was LVMPD, SICT, SIC, apostrophe D, Wallace's use of its in reference to LVMPD. Apparently, it's supposed to be there. No, he used there, and they said no, it should be its or something like that. And now that makes sense. But Wallace is not an it. Oh, its is referring to LVMPD. See, I made another mistake. See, mea culpa. Barely legal briefs. Are these like G-strings? Like, do we have pictures of these? Are we willing to share? Have I introduced you to my G-string account? Because I would love to swap barely legal briefs with you. Wallace claims his current second extension request is necessary because he has yet to obtain counsel. This is not good cause. And then this is normally where you would put a citation of some sort, I would guess. I would put a citation there. But I guess you could just say it's not good cause and walk away from it. It's like taking a fat turd at a Taco Bell and then just walking away from it. You know? You know what I'm talking about, brother. That's right. Inigo knows. Wallace filed his lawsuit on May 24th, 2023. He has had 3 months to find counsel. During this 3-month period, Wallace has actively litigated the case and filed the following pleadings without the assistance of counsel: the complaint, a motion to extend time, an opposition, a reply, a motion for leave to file a surreply, an amended motion for Rule 11 sanctions. Relax, dude. I have to read this. Unopposed request for referral to pro bono panel. Based on these filings, Wallace has shown he is capable of drafting and filing documents without counsel. However, it remains unclear who is filing Wallace's pleadings, as he is improperly utilizing the court's e-filing system without obtaining permission. Someone says they love you, and you go. He likes to run after the ladies. He's like a predatory cat. Starts chasing the flock of hens, and he'll single one of them out, and it's rape. It's not love, it's rape. And then they have to get up and shake the dust off when he's done. So they do not object to his request to extend his deadline to respond to the motion strike to September 15th, 2023. It does object to any further extensions and objects to staying the case. He served by mail. No problem on the 8/15 date. Let's start with the Dear Craig Anderson, will you oppose a motion for an extension of time to respond to your motion to strike my complaint in order to allow you the full 21 days to withdraw it before I file for sanctions? Floyd Wallace. Thanks for the email. I'm agreeable to extending the time for you to respond to the motion to strike and motion to dismiss. You could do it as an unopposed motion, or you could draft a stipulation in order. How long do you want? Basically, I'm not fucking worried. He says, I apologize for not, this is Wallace. Again, I apologize not seeing your reply and filed the request without indicating your consent. My bad. I put 8/15 in the motion. On a different note, are you representing the individual police officers in this case? If so, can you accept service for them? With the Nevada's police confidentiality laws in place, where even their property deeds are deleted from public records, I've been unable to get their addresses. Floyd Wallace. This looks like a chilly email, you know? If I've only received like 5 or 6 chilly emails, maybe 7 or 8, somewhere in there. But I would, you know what? Let's check. Let's see how many chilly emails we've received. Let's check. Inspect what you expect. Inspect what you expect. Holy Mother of God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 emails. My favorite one was, "You doxed my phone number." I didn't dox it, you dumb shit. You said it to me. That guy. I didn't see them, Peanut. Hold on a second. Let me look at spam. Last Saturday. Let's see. Last Saturday. What date was last Saturday? 26th. So we're looking for something on the 26th. I got something from Judicial Watch. I got nothing in my inbox. Let's do all mail. August 26th. Honey baked ham. Sees candies. What? I got nothing, buddy. You didn't. Well, let me check my legal lawyer and of the law one. My legal lawyering of the law. All mail. 26. Ugh, I got so many to respond to. No, you didn't send it to my YouTube one or my legal lawyer and of the law one. Double check it. If you go to my State Bar webpage, it has my legal lawyering of the law one. Send it to that one, please. And then text me or something after you send it so that I'll look for it and I'll be able to make sure that I got you. He docks his number on live streams in Ironton. Well, he apparently really didn't like it because the next one from him, he was using it mms.att.net to send it to me. The next one was "I'll hold you liable," which I found very scary. And then the third one, because he was sending texts to my email account. I didn't even know you could do that, but apparently you can. The third one was "Texts are streaming in. Thank you so much." Oh, Jesus. And then he says, "Filing complaint with YouTube privacy violation, cc.youtube." Oh, what a bitch. Anyway, sorry. Well, I don't know what to tell you, Peanut. I just checked and I didn't see it. And I would love to help you, but you gotta actually make sure I receive it. I just checked all mail, which would include spam and trash. So I don't know what to tell you, boss. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, we're off track. All right, so confidentiality laws. So this is Craig Anderson's reply. Hi, Mr. Wallace. No problem on the 8/15 date. I will file a notice of non-opposition to your motion, so the court will grant you the time. As for the service of the officers, I cannot accept service. The reason is the same I tell plaintiff in every case. I do not have authority from the officers. When an officer is sued, the district attorney reviews the case and determines whether the officer is entitled to a paid defense and then assigns the case to an attorney. Prior to being assigned the case, I have no control over the officers. I apologize for any inconvenience, but I have never had the authority to accept service. I don't know why he included that part in there. Why would he have included that part in there? Because he was saying I have no problem with the 8/15 date. All right, and then B, starting from the bottom, because that's how I do. Got to start from the bottom and lick your way up. All right. Dear Craig Anderson, this is again from Floyd, allegedly. I'll type up the motion in a few days, but I wanted to get the safe harbor timer started. I'll be filing for Rule 11 sanctions if you don't withdraw your frivolous motion regarding this case number within 21 days. Floyd Wallace. So this is ineffective. This is ineffective. This does not meet the requirements of the particular FRCP Rule 11. So it says, Dear Craig Anderson, I'm typing up the motion for sanctions now. This is on July 26th. I was just wondering if you had any evidence demonstrating that the claims you assert in your motion to strike are well-grounded, in fact, showing that you made a reasonable inquiry. I ask because in Holgate versus Baldwin, what is he saying? Baldwin's motion says that they started by asking the opposing counsel for this evidence. Baldwin's motion says they started by asking the opposing counsel for this evidence. I don't see it. There's nothing about asking. I don't know what he's talking about. He doesn't give a page cite. I don't see them saying that opposing counsel was asked for this evidence. It's Baldwin's motion. So Baldwin's motion on March 18th, first served with a letter and a copy of the motion he intended to file if the plaintiffs did not remove Baldwin as a defendant or cure deficiencies. He then waited over 21 days before filing this motion. At the time of filing, he was selecting counsel. It doesn't say anything about doesn't say anything about it. So I'm going to go with what is what I'm going to go with. What? Since it's not true or even reasonable based on my obvious decision to plagiarize his complaint, your wild accusation seems meant to waste my time and harass and embarrass me and Chili. I also have a reasonable belief that you have used a court courier that is not a licensed attorney. Do you deny that? Here's a problem. Here's a problem. I'll type up the motion in a few days, but I wanted to get the safe harbor period going. You'll notice that Baldwin first served Levinson with a letter and a copy of the motion he intended to file. He then waited over 21 days. Two things, not one, but two things. A letter saying, if you don't withdraw your frivolous pleading, I will file the attached motion for sanctions. So Walker's motion is procedurally deficient. So there's a procedural deficiency. FRCP provides that a motion for sanctions must be served under Rule 5. The motion must be served under Rule 5. A motion must be served under Rule 5, but it must not be filed or presented to the court if the challenged paper, claim, defense, contention, or denial is withdrawn or appropriately corrected within 21 days after service. The Sixth Circuit has held that observance of the safe harbor provision is mandatory. The motion shall not be filed with or presented to the court unless within 21 days after service of the motion. That's service of the motion, not a letter, service of the motion. The challenge paper is withdrawn or appropriately corrected. So that's what our boy Wallace has not done, is actually provided the 21-day safe harbor. So that was on, he was typing it up on the 26th. So 21 days would be 17th. So then Craig Anderson responded, "Hi, hope you're well. I'll try to respond to each question. Number one, the evidence I have is several videos of Mr. Decastro saying he's assisting you. That is most likely the practice of law. Number two, if he is not helping you, and then you should have no problem with the court granting my motion. If he's not helping you, subtract that and from there. If he's not helping you, then you should have no problem with the court granting my motion. That is a fair and accurate statement. Number three, I apologize, but I don't understand your question regarding the court courier issue. When have I used a court courier, and who says they have to be a licensed attorney? Please elaborate. That is a great question. That is a great question. That is something I would ask too. On an unrelated note, I just saw you filed your opposition to my motion to dismiss. Would you be agreeable to give me a 1-week extension to respond? Thanks, and I look forward to your response." So then Floyd, in air quotes, responds, "Dear Mr. Anderson, I watched the videos at the timestamps you say. I don't know how you're getting your allegations from that." Well, is this the nuh-uh defense? The nuh-uh defense. I don't think it means that. Well, the court's going to figure out what it means. I'm going to go ahead and say that you failed to respond with evidence demonstrating the claims that you asserted in your filing. I'm going to go ahead and say that you failed to respond with evidence demonstrating the claims that you asserted in your filing. Well, he failed to respond with evidence that you think is appropriate, but he did respond with evidence. So, I kind of line. Uh-oh, the rape train's rolling through. This one's Fabio. The flock scattered and it threw him off. Oh, you got one. Oh, and he goes, not having any of that. The chase is on. And he goes like, that's my hand to rape. All right, sorry. I think you're playing word games. You said that Mr. Decastro, he was chilling out, Mr. Decastro, needs to be an attorney to courier my papers. You said, and then insert something that he didn't actually say. Why do people think this is a convincing argument tactic? You said X. Well, I didn't say that. No one ever said that Chili was an attorney because he couriered paperwork. I've never seen that anywhere. You know what? Let's take a little peeky poo. Don't be mocking my chicken porn, Juan. Can't say you've never choked your chicken. We're looking for the motion to strike. Strike. Share this tab instead. Statement of facts. Okay, so we're looking for where he filed. It was something about him filing. Does it say anywhere filed? So plaintiff filed the subject complaint. So they're saying that Wallace filed it. Okay. Plaintiff's complaint is almost identical to the complaint filed by Decastro. Okay. Once plaintiff's complaint was filed, Decastro went through it online. Okay. So they're talking about filing pleadings, strike improperly filed pleadings, where a person is engaged in the unauthorized practice of law and filed pleadings in an action. The first appropriate remedy for the court is to strike the improperly filed pleadings. So this does appear that he's saying that Chili filing it. So this particular case, this was where a guy who was not the, I'm not going to pronounce that right. He was not this particular Indian nation, so he could not represent them. You could represent yourself, but you can't represent other entities. And so he filed this with himself as plaintiff and the Unalachigo, whatever it was, Band of Indians versus New Jersey. And then he amended it to remove himself as a plaintiff, and thus he could no longer represent himself in it. And so the Indian tribe had to hire an attorney. And because he amended it and removed himself, he actually, like, it wasn't just that it was filed by him, it was that he actually, like, did the thing. He actually did the thing. We went through this before. I found it before. I may find it again. I may find it again. And then again, I may not. Well, I remember going through it, and I believe the issue was that the guy who was basically pro per was then trying to represent the tribe, so that was the problem. And then did we ever find this one? I don't remember this one. I don't remember this one. Where were we at on this? This was at 2. This doesn't seem right. This date was September 10th, 2010. This was October 3rd, so that's not the right one. Of course it's not. That's July. That's not the right one. Whatever. I don't know. Sue me. We're talking about balls? I don't think that there's any problem with having a runner. Now, hold on a second. Let's check the FRCP. Let's do that. Filing. By filing it, an attorney certifies. That would be interesting. I've used court runners to file before. Not in federal court. Because I've always had e-filing. That is interesting. That is interesting. So I think what we can do here is we can split some hairs. I don't think she's that into you, Fabio. So what this is saying is by presenting to the court a pleading, a written motion, or other paper. And in here, the filing, so there's notice of manual filing. So basically he's saying that I'm going to do this. And so he's saying, like, I'm filing this. This is the attorney saying, I'm filing it. And then he sends the disc to the, good on you. Every court. I've never seen a runner that filed in every court. I think that's going to be the distinction. I still don't think we're going to get that particular complaint struck, though. All right. You said Mr. Castro needs to be an attorney to courier my papers. He didn't say that. He was talking about filing. You sending people to the court to file your papers is you using a courtier, which is not a courier. And no, they didn't send anybody to file papers. It was a DVD. And if the DVD was already filed with a notice of manual filing, even if they're internal to your organization, and I have other reasons to believe that you've done that, this is not a winning argument there. Now, here's the fun fact. If let's just assume if Chile is right in that in so much as just presenting a DVD to the court after an attorney has already filed a notice of manual filing, if that is enough to be the unlawful practice of law, then number one, that courier, or as Chile would say, courtier, would be in a world of hurt. But the attorney wouldn't, and LVMPD wouldn't. However, if that's all it takes to do the unlawful practice of law, then Chile actually presenting and filing the complaint by handing it over to the clerk would be sufficient to have it struck. So, like, it's really weird that Chile's trying to double apply or even more stringently apply the law to LVMPD, because the court isn't gonna let one party do something and not the other party. The court isn't going to hold one party accountable and not the other party. The court isn't going to apply the rules of civil procedure to one party and not the other party. So Chile's really stupid by arguing this, because if he argues that LVMPD's courier who took the disc down to the courthouse is practicing law, then by definition, what Chile did would also be practicing law. So it's a really stupid argument for him to make. He's trying to do some form of special pleading, I guess. I would have no problem with a ruling that Chile can't illegally practice law, except that it has nothing to do with this case, and I shouldn't have to waste my time responding to it. Well, fun fact, you could just choose to not oppose it. You could have just filed a notice of non-opposition to the order preventing Chile from illegally practicing law, but then still oppose the motion to strike. You could have done that. You didn't, but you could have. So your whole argument that I shouldn't have to waste my time responding to it, you didn't have to waste your time. You chose to respond to it. That's pretty dumb. You could have just done you know how non-oppositions work. You've asked for them in the past. In these email chains, you've asked for consent for non-opposition for extensions of time. You know how it works. Like right down here. If you file a non-opposition to my motion, I won't oppose your motion to extend time. You know how non-oppositions work. You chose to do it. Dumb move. Nor have you provided any evidence that it is happening. Again, making your motion frivolous and abusive. Well, you can never convince a retard that he's retarded. You'll never convince Chile that you have enough evidence to support your contentions. Chile will never accept it. It's a waste of time. I think even in the initial pleading that LVMPD presented enough evidence to get the order from the court that Chile is not to practice law, at least in that particular case for Wallace. It's certainly clearly meant to harass and embarrass both Mr. Decastro and myself. Well, I don't think so. I mean, if you didn't oppose it, if you just said, that's bullshit, Chile's never represented me, so I don't oppose an order saying that he can't represent me because it's not happening, then it wouldn't embarrass Decastro, or it wouldn't embarrass you. And if Decastro is not representing you, why would it embarrass Decastro? Now, If DeCastro was representing you, and if you were allowing DeCastro to represent you, then it would be embarrassing because you got caught. You got caught with your hands in the cookie jar. You can't just throw out wild accusations based on YouTube videos that don't even say that and which contain hearsay without investigating those wild accusations. Well, forgive me if I'm fucking wrong, but didn't Wallace include YouTube videos and wild accusations in his complaint? That's literally what Wallace did. Is say, here's a YouTube video, here is my interpretation of it. There you go. I mean, you can, but not in a motion to the court. You have violated Rule 11. Well, I mean, I'm sure that LVMPD is just as capable of employing the nope defense as Chile is. If you file that non-opposition to my motion for an extension of time, I won't oppose your motion to extend time. Floyd Wallace. Craig Anderson responds, "Hi, Mr. Wallace. I assure you, I am not playing word games. Sometimes emails are hard to understand on both ends. So I apologize for any confusion. This is he's calling you stupid without calling you stupid. He's calling you stupid, Chili, without calling you stupid. Sometimes emails are hard to understand on both ends. There's two ends to an email. There's the sender and the receiver. Who do you think's the problem on this one? My evidence is simple. When you and Mr. DeCastro went back to the Metro the following day, Mr. DeCastro told the officers he was going to assist you in your lawsuit. I believe both you and Mr. DeCastro were videoing this encounter so you know that he said it. As for the courier issue, it is still unclear what you're getting at. I don't send people to court to file papers. We serve them electronically or via mail. I'm at a settlement conference right now, but I will file my non-opposition to your request to extend today. As for my request, I just read your opposition, and I will not need extra time to respond, but I do appreciate your willingness to extend my time. Thanks for reaching out, Craig. That was a giant fuck you, and you're stupid. Dear Mr. Anderson, this is on July 26th. This was all on July 26th? There's a flurry of emails on July 26th. Dear Mr. Anderson, Mr. DeCastro did help me, but not with anything that would be considered the illegal practice of law, and you have admitted to not having any evidence of that. But did he? Am I dumb and wrong, or did Craig not admit to not having any evidence of that? He did the opposite of admitting that he didn't have evidence of it. He actually stated what his evidence was. It's an offer of proof, is what we like to call it in we like to call it an offer of proof in the law. Basically, you're saying this is what I would show if we have to actually present evidence. And Anderson showed. He gave his offer of proof. So I don't know why you're suggesting that Anderson admitted that Anderson didn't have any evidence of it. And considering that you're not an attorney, Wallace, or DeCastro, how would you know what would be considered the illegal practice of law and what wouldn't? But you admitted that Chile was helping you, so congratulations. Thank you for being stupid enough to admit Chile's helping you. I mean, from your own mouth, that's not hearsay. That is a statement by a party opponent. It is not hearsay. You have admitted that Chile's helping you. It's in front of the court. I am surprised that it's not in front of the court in a reply motion on the actual motion to strike, but you left the door open on this one, and if they do have oral arguments, which I doubt they will because no one asked for it, on the motion to strike, this is one of the things that I would point at, because Wallace admitted that Chile was helping him. Good job. Good fucking job. You know, it's shit like this that when my clients do it, it just makes me want to throttle them. Because you're like, why the fuck would you even say that? Like, you had nothing to gain by saying that. Just fucking deny it and then shut your mouth. And then keep your mouth shut. Fuck. There is no evidence because it didn't happen, and no reasonable person would even go there, let alone assert it is true without evidence. Well, that's kind of redundant. You're saying no one would assert it is true without evidence, but that's only because you're saying there is no evidence, just ignoring everything that Anderson said. Mr. Decastro didn't even send me a copy of his complaint. I had to download it from his email? And that's not very convincing. Here is the motion for sanctions. So the sanctions were served on the 26th. So has he filed them? Has he filed a motion for sanctions? He did, didn't he? Yes, he did on August 10th. So there is a huge issue with that. Oh, that's right. I shit down Anderson's back for not pointing out the procedural error. Hopefully, you won't have to deal with me much longer. Would you oppose a motion that I be referred to the pro bono panel and to stay the proceedings until we hear back? Floyd Wallace. Hi, Mr. Wallace. First, I have no problem dealing with you. You're always welcome to call or email me. Now, why wouldn't he call? Oh, because it's not Wallace that he's dealing with. So that is a fishing expedition by Mr. Anderson. So Wallace, don't call him because he'll be able to figure out real quick that you're not the one preparing any of these pleadings or writing any of these emails. So stay off the phone with Craig Anderson, sir. Second, thank you for the motion. I'm out of town the next 2 days, but we'll review it early next week. Third, if you file a motion for pro bono representation, I will not oppose it or join it. In other words, I will do nothing and let the court work it out. Does that make sense? So he's not opposing it, but he's not joining it. You like my pro bono panel? I mean, none of that amateur bullshit in this house. You know what I'm saying? It's the pro bono panel. I will not oppose it or join it. The motion for pro bono representation. In other words, I will do nothing and let the court work it out. So he does not say anything in here about agreeing not to oppose or join the motion to stay. So the question was oppose the motion for pro bono and to stay, and the answer was I won't oppose or join your motion for pro bono representation. Okay. Then Chili, Floyd, whatever, responds back, Mr. Anderson, I understand your pro bono stance. Since I haven't received your DVD yet, and I don't have a DVD player, I know those MacBook Airs, they don't have DVD players in them. It's really an oversight, but you can get a fairly inexpensive one if you go down to your local Best Buy. Buy local. Buy local. Don't give your money to Amazon if you don't have to. Buy local. Since I haven't received a copy of DVD yet, and I don't have a DVD player, anyway, you or an assistant can send me a digital copy. You know, a lot of times video files are just too darn big, and so they have to put them on those like online drives, those cloud drives or something like that. It's always I have a service for that. I forget what it's called. Dropbox, I think, something like that. Anyway, it doesn't look like you e-filed that DVD. Right, he didn't. He e-filed a notice of manual filing, and he included a copy of the DVD on it, like a printout of the case cover of the DVD. So yeah. but I'm still unclear on whether you're actually alleging that Mr. Decastro couriering my documents is the illegal practice of law. So now he's unclear on whether or not he alleging it, but prior he says down here, you said that Mr. Decastro needs to be an attorney to courier my papers. You said that Mr. Decastro needs to be a courier or an attorney to courier my papers. And now up here, he's unclear about it. This is the 27th of July. Down here, this is the 26th of July. So over the course of 24 hours, Wallace apparently forgot that Anderson said Mr. Decastro needs to be an attorney to courier Wallace's papers. Fucking weird. Fucking weird. All right, so I'm going to look at that. Nope. I'm going to look at this. No. I'm going to look at all mail. No. I'm going to look at all mail. No. So Peanut, if you have sent it, I still haven't received it in either of the two email accounts that you would have access to. All right. That is it for the relevant and useful portion of the stream. Now we're going to do dumb things like say, hand pink waving, hand pink waving, hand pink waving. Hello, Jason R. Hand pink waving, hand pink waving. Murby. Fungus Patch was my stripper name. That's a pretty good stripper name. I mean, it's better than Meth Head McGee. Yay! Story time with Merb. Merb, clean out your tank. My tanks are very clean, thank you. I do a water change every week. Every week. Trial prep or shenanigans filing from Wallace, you're making the right choice to hang out with us. My day was pretty much fucked. Oh, another thing is my power supply for my Surface went out. So so I have to get another one of those. And no place around me had one in stock. So what are you going to do? Merb is well accustomed to dealing with fungal patches. I don't think herpes is a fungus. Sorry about the fish issues. I know, me too. See, I've never done well with tanks that don't have substrate in them. I don't know why. Every tank I've ever had without substrate in it has just been really touchy. Always has shit going on, and I don't know why. Always, no substrate, always touchy. I had a 20-gallon tank with no substrate. I just took it down. I'm like, I'm tired of this shit. I had a 10-gallon tank with no substrate. I took it down. Tired of it. I have currently two 40-gallon tanks with no substrate, and neither one of them is really fucking stable. Both of them are over-filtered like you wouldn't believe, and neither one of them is stable. And I just think all the extra surface area from the gravel, it's just something about it. And maybe what's his name? The fake PhD guy. Oh, I haven't watched his shit in a long time. He might have something. He might be onto something about the plenum area underneath that undergravel filter, because they just seem to be way more stable if there's an undergravel filter and gravel in there. Hand pink waving, hand pink waving. Why prep today when you get prep tomorrow? That motto kept me from being a rich attorney. Well, I did actually a few hours of prep today before life got in the way. I'm only here for the yucks. Well, yuck, yuck, yuck. Yuck. Howdy, Jim Bob Briggs. Linda says, hey, coded. Jason says, okay, Merb, dogs need to make an appearance. I think they're inside. They got shots today. Patty didn't eat his dinner. He's not feeling good. Kenzie, the new dog, didn't eat his dinner. Siobhan ate her dinner, but she's not feeling great. She whimpered when she laid down, so she's not terribly happy. Or the cocks. Well, you'd love to see my cock, wouldn't you? Poor fishy, I know. Hey, Nima. Merb, you need to set up grow beds to filter water through. I actually watch some of those channels that some of the aquaponics channels. I enjoy the thought of it. If I had someone with a green thumb, like I love my wife to death, she does not have a green thumb. She has the opposite of a green thumb. I don't particularly have a green thumb. Um, so but it like plants just aren't my thing, man. Like I'm not good at them. Just not good at them. R.I.P. Fish. Well, we're trying to avoid that. He's talking a fungus in his private parts, isn't he? Wouldn't you like to know? Old fashioned or Negroni? Sure. Fish. I'm hiding the Loch Ness monster in my moat. Wasn't Dan, the actual Dan, not the fake Dan here? Wasn't Dan gonna? Maybe it was just something that Code would like to say. Fly all the wedding participants to Wales to get them custom fitted with armor for his wedding ceremony with Becca or Blecca. Craziness. Somehow I'm gonna press exit out. Merb, I can get you set up in a small space, like your butthole. Nice. High ammonia, chili peat in the tank. I doubt it. The fish weren't high from all the residue. I'll help you with water plants. Well, if you were in the greater Sacramento area, hit me up. Fish talk. I love Abe Vigoda in Barney Miller. Nice. That's an old school 70s cop show reference. Nice. Old greenhouse. It's a cold greenhouse. It doesn't have see-through panels. It has wood walls that kind of block the wind. There's a lot of. It's not sealed tight by any stretch of the imagination, and it's got uh, sheet metal roofing on the outsides, and then like the kind of translucent sheets in the middle, so that the previous gal who lived here, the previous owner, liked to grow orchids and stuff in there. So I love getting my anal glands expressed. Nice. Well, hit me up. Actually, the house stank so bad after that. Oof. I rescued a homing pigeon and tracked down the association it was registered with. The owner is supposed to call me tomorrow. Why didn't it go home? So weird. Wrangler touching tips with KFAR. Sorry I'm late. Well, better late than never. All right. Who peed in the pool? Tomatoes. Didn't you like his show Fish? Hand pink waving. FYM. Hashtag FYM. I think that's fuck you, somebody or the other. Huh. I ain't walking there. I just dropped 10K on Hong Kong. I thought you were rich. Bitch. Who said you had to walk? You fly. I like to shit on Dan a little bit because he can't afford to fly across the pond, buy airline tickets in advance, come during the off season, etc., and suck my dick, obviously, for free. I wouldn't charge him to suck my dick. And same thing with you, Coded. You can save up, Thank you for your service, Wrangler. You're welcome. I shit my pants earlier. It's been a tough day for us all, bro. Does that finger thing mean you're docking? Oh, I guess Desert's got a chubby. Tummy swords. Nice. Thank you for your service. Now I'll shut the hell up. Well, you know what? I thought Dan served. I thought Dan was a hero whose buddy died in his arms. Could be sword fighting. Not too fucking good. That's what it means. Hi, Merb. Ready to choke on a Welshman? No, I'm ready to let a Welshman choke on me. I did a 1A audit today, says Sergeant Rock. I audited the post office to see if they would respect my right to to not to video in public. They didn't object at all. I don't have any video of it. Well, that's awesome. You know, compelled speech is a violation of the First Amendment. So it's awesome that they didn't force you to express yourself when you didn't want to. J5 says, yeah, last week mine didn't object to me dropping letters in the box inside. A+. I have audited a post office. I have audited a post office. Let's see. Show more. Did I make a... Don't. 1A post office audit. All right, we're going to share this tab instead. We're going to go full screen. This is beautiful, beautiful Auburn. That's the Auburn post office. Oh, yeah. Carpe Vino, it closed down. That was a great restaurant. I loved Carpe Vino. Good stuff. Fire truck. That right up there, that's the top of the old historic Auburn courthouse. There's a law library right up this street. It's never open for some reason. I'm at the Herschel Young Park. It's really beautiful. The brew pub is nice. It's surprising the number of people who have come to me about our good friend, Mr. Hemming. Speed this up a bit. He's pretty there. Hi, can I film in here for the historical thing? Appreciate it. How old is this?
No, this is the oldest post office west of Mississippi.
It's the oldest post office west of Mississippi? Oh, that's cool. 1848. Awesome. Yeah, it's this is some pretty stellar photography. 1849. That's the original glass.
Yes, it is.
Oh wow, look at these old timey boxes. This is so cool. Oh, there's more. 1875. There's a.
This is the Promenade Hotel. You know where that is?
No, I don't.
Downtown.
Downtown? There's a post wagon in the court. Okay. Beautiful. There's a post wagon in the court. Was that used to service this place or? Oh, awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And there you go. There's a post office audit done by yours truly. How about that? How about them apples? And they respected my rights, and they were actually very pleasant about it. So, all right, row your boat gently down my moat. I think that's a come on, and I would like to come on. Lol. WNN, I need about tree fitty. Lol, if he prevails. Damn it. Don't nobody give that mechanics no tree fitty. Merb, send me a plane ticket, and I'll take you up on your offer. No. You were rich, remember? You have a Gulfstream jet. Why do I need to send you a plane ticket, sir? I'm offering to let you suck my dick for free. That's at least worth tree fitty. Literally. Making a note at 00:06 GMT August 30, 2023. Murby was wrong. Check. Well, you're going to need a bigger notebook. Mea culpa. Fuck around, find out. Lol. Hello again, Michelle. An old and tough crow. Why are you talking about Desert Sentinel? Because he does cool beekeeping videos. You should check out his beekeeping videos. Hiya, Desert Sentinel. And there's a lot of drama with beekeeping, apparently. Very much so, Taze. And then we have the red hearts. Love that rooster. You love the cock, you mean, Sandy. Don't lie. Ooh, the G-string account. Is that a big deal to use e-file without permission? Yeah, it kind of is. It's a no-no for the person who's allowing Wallace to use their ECF. But it's also a big deal for Wallace because you need to get permission from the court to file electronically, and you need to go through the training, and it needs to be your particular account. So yeah, it's a big deal for everybody involved. Double mea culpa. That's crazy talk. Oh shit, Pink Money Merb Ho live. I can't wait for him to tell me to shut up, Logan. Shut up. Shut up, Logan. You just shut up. Hey, Logan. Cones. Have you checked your spam? Yes, I have checked my spam. And I'm not trying to dodge any of this stuff. I mean, I'll help a brother out. The office of Rep Kylie? I don't know who that is. Trash? That's my own special account. I call it the white trash account. And nope, I still got nothing. Still got nothing. Thank you. 3 months to find counsel is one of my favorites in all this back and forth motions. That and the polite emails LVMPD reps. Yeah. You're supposed to be polite in discussing things with opposing counsel. Sniff, sniff. Oh, yes, definitely chili. It smells like Axe body spray. Spam is delicious. I'm not a fan of spam, but spam, what does it call it? Spam musubi from Hawaii? Unreasonably good. If I dox your phone number, why the fuck would I email you? Ha 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 ha. If I dox your phone number, why the fuck would I email you? I don't know. Why would you? No rush. Spam sushi. Yes, spam. They call it like spam musubi or spam wasubi or something like that. He docks his number on live streams in Ironton. Probably. When was Wallace in jail in Arkansas? No idea. I didn't get the rejection notification that it was an incorrect email. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Check with Merb's cousin. Maybe they deleted it. My cousin Matt? Copy. Thank you very much. Heads up, Merb. If my girlfriend gets a hold of your legal lawyer in email, your wife is going to feel threatened. I am representing a gal who does OnlyFans right now. I haven't gone to her OnlyFans page. I don't intend to, but arrest and court records docu. Oh, so on the OnlyFans one, like opposing party sent like screenshots from stuff on not necessarily picture like lewd pictures, but like some very risque pictures. And I was like, so I have this, I'm going through the stuff, looking at it. I'm just like, if someone comes into my office right now and they see what I'm looking at, they're going to get the wrong impression. Another time, it was a divorce case. It wasn't my case. I was working for another attorney on it. But our client was making accusations that her ex, the guy she was divorcing, had been going to some porn site, and the other attorney was like, John, look up that porn site to see what it's all about. I'm like, no, not on my phone. I'll get back to the office and use your computer to do it. whatever bugs or whatever that's going to be coming over from a porn website. Not on my phone, thanks. Not in my browsing history, thanks. Good shit. I know. All good. I'll get to you. All right. The day he was arrested in Ironton, he filled out the form to request use of building and included his cell phone number. Well, I think the thing is he has multiple cell phones, and so he probably gave a cell phone number, but not like his personal use cell phone number. Arrest and dick your way up. Have you met my girlfriend? No, but it kind of sounds like I want to. Hope someone is recording this. This stream is doomed for a strike, probably. Good evening. Good evening, Devin. Coded Friend says, good evening, Devin. Wow, you have enough pull that you got Coded Friend to come back out of the shadows. J5 says it still makes me laugh that Chile filled out that form at like 4:45 p.m. and expected and even went on a rant that the mayor was going to come down personally and approve it before closing. Yeah. Chile has a fairly high opinion of himself. He doesn't really have a good perspective on a lot of what's going on out there in the world. Devin says, "Hey there, Coded. Good to see ya." Logan says, "Coded, that 5 a.m. live stream fucked me up, you dick." Yeah, that was a little bit early there, son. That was a little bit early. Luckily, I get up at 3 in the morning, so I got to see some of it. Well, listen to some of it, but that was pretty fucked up. Captain Clown says, "Are the chickens laughing at Chili or Floyd's motion? Probably, and trying not to get raped by a two-cocks." Jethro says, "Desert Sentinel, why don't you record it? Or have you no hope? A lot of people online ask why. Fucking do it yourself." Nasty Nate says, "How's it going? I hope you are doing well. Let's meet up for drinks sometime." Yeah, we should. Desert Sentinel says, "Sorry if I work and not on a PC ass to mouth." ATM stands for ass to mouth, right? Pretty sure it does. Logan Sandman says, "Unless you have boobies, I don't record shit anymore, even if you have beer and weed." Orange Cone says, "Thinking is not Chili's strong point." That is correct. Jethro says, "You can download it from your phone. If you're on this channel, you're not working." Desert Sentinel says, "At lunch, and I'm a boomer." The "I'm a boomer" excuse, that's mine. Because I don't know. People record this shit all the time. I have no idea how they do it. I don't know. Don't know, don't care. If it gets taken down, like, it doesn't cost me anything. Like, whatever, dude. Logan says, "How the fuck did you know I was retired?" Jethro says, "Download it on your lunch break, Gen Zero." Desert Sentinel says, "Flip phones can't download. Those things were awesome. Those Nextel flip phones." Nasty Nate says, "I'm honored to be able to say I had drinks with you." Yeah, Desert Sentinel's a cool dude. I'd have drinks with Desert Sentinel. Desert Sentinel says, "Hey, Nate, good times." Jethro says, "Low Logan, me too." Jethro says, "The old flip phone excuse." Desert Sentinel says, "Yup." Nasty Nate says, "I used to have a flip phone until 2017. I actually still have it. The thing still works." Yeah, and it probably holds a charge all day long. Logan says, "Those hens are talking some serious smack to Fabio." Just saying. Yeah. But Fabio's a big boy, and he can take what he wants. Jethro says, "Nate, you've got nice balls, I've been told." He's posted a picture of them. Yeah. I think it was a butt shot, but he had a little peeker, if you know what I'm saying. Either it was really bad hemorrhoids or he had a little peeker. Nasty Neat says, "Oh my." Juan Galt says, "Chicken porn? You'll have to find that on your own, sir." I'd hate to see your search history. Denise Lynn says, "I can confirm Nate has a nice butt with a little peach there." Nice. Big Addict says, "Cockfights." Logan says, "You've got big balls. I've got big balls. We've got the biggest balls of them all. Go Fabio." J5 says, "Here they come to snuff the rooster. Oh, yeah!" Sorry. Nuh-uh defense. Is that related to the Nutella defense? It's close, but it has fewer syllables. Nasty Nate says, "That's a great album. AC/DC's Dirty Deeds album came out in 1976. That song Big Balls was on that album." Jeff, this is Logan. "It's the internet. We all have big balls and sell a lot of t-shirts." Denise Lynn says, "Lol." Logan says, "And I'm old enough to have that one in vinyl." Nasty Nate says, "I'm old enough to have it on a cassette. Heh. Logan says, "I can tell you where to get a Shut Up Logan t-shirt." Well, I mean, if you need one. Jethro says, "Thumbs up Denise. Upper butt or upper cooch?" Which, I mean, I need to know. Inquiring minds. J5 says, "I had it on vinyl, cassette, CD, and now MP3. Well, aren't you special?" Nasty Nate says, "I now have it on cassette, CD, and on my iPod." Big smiley face. "My girlfriend loves it," says Logan, which we know it's a lie. When I, quote, did the thing. Something tells me we're not talking about her. Something tells me you're right. Now, she says, I still use an iPod. I still have my 160 gig iPod. Love that thing. Jethro says, Lol, Logan, I remember on some channel, everyone was telling you to shut up. I didn't know why, but it was funny. J5 says, I still buy CDs and rip to MP3. They're on my phone and tablet. St. Michael says, I am usually silent, but I can't help to be jealous of everyone's balls. I will live vicariously through you all. I will live through your balls like sperm. Logan says, I get shut up, Logan, a lot. Jethro says, lol, Merb at whatever. Nasty 8 says, that's groovy. I miss the days of music stores, Sam Goody, Musicland, The Warehouse, Tower Records, etc. Orange Cone says, I may find it again. Not something you want your girlfriend to say. Or do you? J5 says, seriously, I also read ebooks now, but I really miss bookstores. Jethro says, shut up, Logan. Nasty 8 says, I still read paperback books. Hardcovers are too bulky, like my cock. Logan says, finding it again is what I live for. J5 says, usually too cheap, poor to buy hardcovers. Jethro says, I read books. It's more comfortable. Causeless Rebel says, I was a runner for a law firm. I filed in every court. But did you drive or run? Logan Salmon says, I can so do a librarian joke, but I'm just going to shut up, Logan. Self-censorship, not good for you, sir. 98 says, in my area, there's a pre-owned bookstore. You can get a paperback book for like $1.99. My mom used to love going to the pre-owned bookstore because all the women would buy the romance novels, the checkout counters, read them, and then sell them to that pre-owned bookstore. And it was just a huge, like, ugh. But you'd want to buy it just in case it was that one special one, maybe with Fabio looking just right and the print being just what gets you gushing, and so you can keep it. Or maybe if you ruin it by, like getting it wet while you're and he goes, got one sorted out, and he's got her. Nice. I also print out court documents. That's exciting. Nate says Logan's Run with Michael York is a classic movie. J5 says there are about 7 or 8 in my year that I used to shop at often. Now there's 2 Barnes and Nobles and 1 used bookstore. Nasty Nate says I love going to bookstores. Sergeant Rock says is filing different from couriering. I think he means couriering because currying is where you put spice on things. Get it? See what I did there? It was a curry joke. J5 says, and the usual bookstores are way more, or usual used books are way more than $2 here. Logan says, damn straight, Nasty Nate. Farrah Fawcett and Peter Ustinov were also in it. J5 says, love that movie. I was about 12 when it came out. Causeless Rebel says, we only had 3 clerks to deal with. County clerk handled all city and court filings, so state Supreme Court and federal court. Ham Sandwich said, Sheila is nothing more than an aging queen who's going through a midlife crisis. Well, you are the psychiatrist here, so we will defer to your diagnosis, sir and or madam. Sergeant Rock says, wouldn't the lawyer be the one filing and the courier is just dropping it off? Well, as we went through, the lawyer filed a notice of manual filing saying that this is what I, the attorney, am going to file. And then it doesn't really matter who drops it off because the attorney's already taken responsibility for it. You see how that works? The attorney has signed off the paperwork. Logan Salmon says, I think I was 10 when it came out, 10 inches. J5 says, Jenny A. Gutter with a lot of loving thingies. Captain Clown said, who accused Chili of being smart? Smart ass, maybe. Ham Sandwich says, Chili is no better than Earl. They're both terrible people. Well, one may have raped his daughter. So I'm going to go out on a limb here. Earl is a convicted rapist, actually having raped 1 or more women and stolen cars and fell into possession of a firearm and then has been convicted of, and who knows how the appeal is going to turn out, has been convicted of raping, sexual molestation of his daughter. his underage at the time daughter. So I'm gonna say that between the two of them, the guy who's committed some really petty misdemeanors or the guy who's raped, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that Earl's a tad bit worse than Chili. Just a skosh, you fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot, ham sandwich. And why you come in here talking like that is beyond me. I don't know why I let you do it, to be honest with you. J5 says I went out as a Sandman for Halloween that year. Nice. Logan Sandman says aging midlife crisis queens make for great reality TV. I don't watch his shit anymore. It's kind of boring, and he says some really stupid shit. Sergeant Rock says nobody. Sergeant Rock says, hey, Logan. Logan says, Sean. Jasper says, I'd say it's passive-aggressive, sarcastic hyperbole. Possibly. Logan says, say it with Merb. Clearly. Jethro says his psychopathy, whatever it is, does not allow him to be wrong. He should be required to have a competency hearing. I don't think so. Nothing Chili's done screams to me that he's incompetent. Sorry. I know you don't like him, but just because you don't like him doesn't mean he needs a competency hearing. J5 says it's called malignant narcissism. We got a bunch of psychologists in here. J5 says, allegedly, in my opinion. Jethro says the emails are a hoot. Orange Cone says, you are clearly insane if you keep expecting this to make sense. It makes sense. Jethro says, Craig has his number. Probably. Logan says, sender, interference, receiver. This is old school Boy Scouts. Don't make me date myself. Well, if no one else will date you, you'll probably have to date yourself. Say hi to Rosie and her 5 sisters. Frank says, Golden Age or Morpheus version. J5 says, I think Chili has had emails on both ends before, and I bet he understood it just fine. I think that Chili was gay for pay, so he was a catcher, not a pitcher, if you catch my drift. Logan says, emails or he-mails? J5 says, tomato. Jethro says, amateur YouTube law scholars, my favorite. Logan says, tomato. Are we doing the Sound of Music now? Jethro says, recording at Lowell reminds me of a high-profile case underway. J5, the rape train's rolling through. J5 says, sure. And then music. The chats are alive with the sound of music. Logan Salmon says, pro boner panel, I can hang. Well, if you were a pro boner, you'd be standing at attention, not hanging. Jethro says the amateur law scholars are as stupid as the amateur journalists. I think we're all amateur journalists. Ed 2276 says, I'm just a baiter. I don't know anything about pro boners. Well, eventually you'll be a master. Logan says, I can teach you to be a master at baiting. Well, there you go. Logan's stepping up to the pitch. J5 says, hey, man, it's been quite a while. Hope you're good. And I Exist says, if you follow Chili, a reasonable person knows that Chili talks about himself as if he is an attorney. He tells others he will help them file lawsuits against the police. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Denise Lynn says, shut up, Logan. Ed says, very kind of you, sir. Alan says, the DA brought up that Decastro returned for the first filing after Floyd left town. They had no idea on first attempt to file and couldn't enter the courthouse. The DA brought that up. Who's the DA? Is this in his criminal case, in Chili's criminal case? It says, howdy, J5. Good to see you. And it says, I'm good indeed. Logan said, did he say illegal couriering of law? Maybe. Logan says, may I please have some Italian dressing with that word salad? I don't think we have Italian. Could I introduce you in a nice Thousand Island? Paul Berry says, there was a Wagner filing today. Chili claims there's a separate case law for pro ses. There is indeed. Plaintiff's reply. This is Decastro versus Wagner. Plaintiff's reply to Lawrence County defendant's response in opposition to plaintiff's second motion to reconsider. It doesn't look like you have to get permission to file a reply. Okay. Since plaintiff outlined the legal authority in his original motion, such information as are repeated here, and plaintiff does not intend by its omission from discussion here to concede to any point previously raised related to plaintiff's request for reconsideration. In support of this motion, he submits the memorandum of law, which is fully incorporated herein. Plaintiffs filed a motion for reconsideration of this court's dismissal of plaintiff's first amended complaint, FAC, due to legal or factual error in the decision to dismiss or due to excusable error or neglect of plaintiff. Defendants have filed an opposition to plaintiff's motion for reconsideration, citing one, distinguishable case law that doesn't apply to pro se plaintiffs. Case law that doesn't apply to pro se plaintiffs. Nice. And moot issues that plaintiff has not requested leave to amend. Moot issues that plaintiff has not requested leave to amend, where plaintiff has obviously, clearly done that twice. Does that sense? Points and authorities. A, grounds for reconsideration offered. Defendants in their opposition spell out the requirements for a Rule 59E motion, then simply say plaintiff fails to offer grounds warranting the reconsideration he seeks. This is clearly untrue, as defendants spend the rest of their opposition attacking plaintiff's grounds, which include factual and legal error in the ruling, as well as excusable error by plaintiff. So, okay, plaintiff fails to offer grounds warranting the reconsideration he seeks. They're not saying that plaintiff fails to offer grounds. They're saying that he fails to offer grounds warranting the reconsideration he seeks. So he's like, no, I offered grounds. And they're like, yeah, but you failed to offer grounds warranting the reconsideration you seek. That's like a patron fails to offer money sufficient to purchase the bicycle. This is clearly untrue, as patron offered $5 and they spent a whole briefing saying that it wasn't enough. Well, yeah, it's because this part is important and you can't just ignore it. Dismissal with leave to amend is discretionary. I don't think anybody's arguing that, but okay. Defendants argue that there is no requirement that a pro se plaintiff must be given leave when not requested. They were saying that you actually have to go through a specific step. You have to file a motion with the court, attach the proposed amended pleading to it, and that is what the court will then make a ruling on and say, yes, I will allow you to file that amended complaint. Let me do this. Decastro v. Oops. There's so much bullshit. These filings have gotten cleaner, by the way. See, in here, he was filing motions for leave to supplement, motions for leave to file amended complaints. So he knows what they're about. So he was doing them before. So I don't know why he forgot that he had to do them. You get one. He got his one as a matter of right. He didn't have to file a motion to do that one, and that's his one as a matter of right. And then he filed motions to supplement, to file amended complaints. Defendants argue there's no requirement that pro se plaintiff be given leave to amend when not requested. Oddly enough, this is the same thing that plaintiff argued. Plaintiff argued that there was no requirement that a pro se plaintiff must be given leave to amend when not requested. Why would you argue that? That's dumb. However, there is plenty of case law granting leave to amend even when not requested, and failure to do so will be reviewed as an abuse of discretion. See July 10th, 2023. Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. Do they have opinions? July 10, 2023. 07 10 23 23 07 10 23. Submit query. Sixth Circuit, July 10th, 2023. Sixth Circuit, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. That's 7. It must not be published at all. Greater versus Buttigieg. Let's see if we could find it on the old. Oh, here's it. Oh, wait, hold on a second. That's 2022. That's 2022. Terminated July 10, 2023. Oop. So this shows that it was terminated July 10, 2023. But I don't see. However, there's plenty of case law granting leave to amend even when not requested. There's plenty of case law. There's so much case law that I'm going to cite an unpublished decision to support my case, because there's plenty of it. So, like, I'm not even going to bother citing a published opinion to back my argument. I'm going to cite an unpublished opinion. Leave requested. Defendants claim that plaintiff did not request leave to amend. He didn't file a motion to amend because it required readings plaintiff's filings, citing Whitley versus Michigan Department of Corrections. Whitley is distinguishable mostly because it was not a pro se plaintiff, but the plaintiff also failed to attach a pros amended complaint as required by local rules. Did we look up this particular? One of these days, I will be able to find this shit. 2022, 20. So plaintiff asks the court to deny defendant's motion or the alternative, give her an opportunity to amend any deficiencies in her pleadings. Magistrate judge noted the plaintiff's response brief was not a motion. Thus, it was not the proper method for seeking leave to amend her complaint. Yeah. Also, plaintiff failed to file a proposed amended complaint as required by the court's local rules. So the magistrate judge, so there's two things. This is the also, this is like, and additionally, like you effed up. Additionally, even at this stage, she's not complied with those rules or identified any proposed amendments to her complaint. So just because it was not a pro se plaintiff, well, hold on a second. Let's look at what is it? Southern District of Ohio, right? Southern District of Ohio local rules. All right. So there does not appear to be a local rule requiring him to attach a copy of the amended complaint. But he still hasn't filed. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, you're on a raping rampage today. And he got her. I don't know if y'all can see that. Some good love right there. And they're done. The Fast and the Furious over there. All right. Additionally, the plaintiff has clearly requested leave to amend its 59E motion conclusion. To amend in its 59E motion conclusion. Plaintiff will this week also be filing a separate motion for leave to amend. Okay, so if he's going to file a motion for leave to amend, then perfect. Second Amendment would not be meritless. Defendants argue that because plaintiff has already made one amendment to his complaint, any further requests for amendment are meritless. However, since all parties' attacks on plaintiff's complaint are attacks on the pleadings and not the facts as applied by the law, that is clearly not the case. Clearly not the case. And no argument, just it wouldn't be meritless because reasons. Okay. Factual allegations in the pleading to name defendants. Factual allegations in the pleading to name defendants. Defendants argue that they were completely absent from the factual pleadings in the first amended complaint. They don't argue that. They didn't argue that. They said that you removed them as named defendants and you removed all the causes of action against them as named defendants. They stated that the only mention of any of the county defendants, I think it's the county, right? I think it's the county one. Yeah, Lawrence County. The only discussion, and they mentioned this in the amended complaint, was about the jailer demanding the Social Security number, and they addressed that. So this is false and not reflected in the pleadings. So notice how he has he's got citations to his first amended complaint, but he has no citations to where they actually allegedly argued that the allegations about the defendants were completely absent from the factual pleadings. These little shitty word games that he plays, like I'm sure they're going to be as obnoxious to the judge as they are to me. They all state factual allegations against and name the defendants in addition to audio and video exhibits are part of the fact. So just because there's an audio or video exhibit that's part of the fact doesn't mean anything. 11, 12, and 13 only talk about the jailer that demanded the social security number. So, but you don't name him as a defendant. So like it would be one thing if he had never named them as defendants, because then they wouldn't have been served or whatever. But you have to be named as a defendant in order for you to get on the summons, in order for you to have to respond. So they were named. And so I think any reasonable interpretation of a First Amendment complaint that completely strips not only their names out of the case caption, but also strips out them as parties, like where it goes to establish, so-and-so is a member of the county sheriff's department and blah, blah, blah. It strips them out of the caption. It strips them out of where they name the parties in the pleading, and it strips them out of all the causes of action. So they're not named in any causes of action. I don't think that Second Amendment, the First Amendment complaint would put them on notice. I think the fact that they were named and then he deliberately stripped them out of the First Amendment complaint shows that they're not named anymore, that they're not defendants. And I don't know why he's hanging on to this, but it looks like you can't unintentionally strip these people out of three separate parts of your complaint without, it had to be on purpose. It had to be on purpose. You can't just accidentally hit delete at those specific sections. Social Security number privacy. Defendants continue to argue no harm done due to lack of privacy protections in Social Security number, but this is a red herring. The issue is a threat to plaintiff's liberty if the number wasn't needlessly provided. I don't know that this is going to go anywhere. I think they have an obligation to identify you since they're putting you in jail, or else, like if someone comes in, like let's say someone on the outside files a habeas on your behalf, but they haven't positively identified you. You bring it in, they can say, we don't know this person. You file the habeas, great. We don't know this person. How are we supposed to bring someone we don't know in front of the court for the habeas hearing? The habeas is basically like present the person. You have to bring this person to the court so that the court can figure out what's going on. If they haven't positively identified you, how are they going to do that? Conclusion: the court should reconsider the dismissal of plaintiff's First Amendment complaint under correct law and facts and allow for plaintiff error, and deny the dismissal or minimally grant the dismissal with leave to amend. This is a motion for reconsideration. It was already dismissed. The correct, what Chile should have done, instead of fiddly fucking around, jerking off with all these motions for reconsideration, is he just should have filed a motion for leave to file a First Amendment or a Second Amendment complaint, attached a copy of the Second Amendment complaint so the court would know that it's not frivolous or stupid. So like, here's my Second Amendment complaint. I'm asking for leave to file this and set aside the dismissal. And that would have probably been a lot more useful. All right. Okay, so that was Paul Berry. Thank you, Paul. Orange Cone says no opposition, but am not enjoying it. Overheard statement by a hen to Fabio. Oh no, there's opposition, and I'm not entirely sure they enjoy it. I'm not entirely sure they have a lot of choice, though. Courier, courtier, courtesan, they're all pretty much the same thing, right? Absolutely. Biff says, wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah. I'm sexy and I know it. Wait, herpes isn't a fungus? Well, I mean, you should probably figure that out since I gave it to you. Wagner. Yes, got it. Thank you. The first bands of Idalia are coming through. Hope my power holds out. I hope your power holds out too. Now I want M&Ms, you dick. Hey, Linda. Substrate gives huge amounts of surface area for good bacteria. Yes, it does. But like, I have ridiculous amounts of surface area. So my understanding is that foam is one of the highest amounts of surface area that you can use. Like K1 Media has more. Pot scrubbies, I think, have more, but then it's foam. Gravel is much lower. I'm sexy and I know it. Oh, look at that body. Look at that body. Look at that body. This is from aquariumscience.org. The effective surface area for 30 ppi foam is pretty freaking high. Although static K1 media and I think pot scrubbers perform better. Effective surface area fluidized. So yeah, well, I guess maybe plastic pot scrubbers are lower, but 30 ppi foam is really high. 20 ppi foam, fine foam is actually lower. No, 20 ppi foam is the looser foam. But anyway, yeah. So substrate is down. Aquarium gravel is down here. Oops, shit! You can't see any of this. So aquarium gravel is down here, like 140 if it's using a canister or stump, or if it's in an undergravel filter. Obviously, the being raised up, but even so, it. Jesus Christ, Inigo, that's fabulous. Even so, I just find it to be a lot more stable with the with an undergravel filter and or at least aquarium gravel in there, some sort of a substrate. I find it makes tanks more stable. But like in one of the 240s, I have one of those Asta. It's a giant. It's a giant, like a 15-liter. It's like a 5-gallon bucket, basically canister filter. It's stainless steel. It's like a knockoff of the ADA one. A giant thing full of foam. I've got that. I've got an AquaClear 110 back filter with just 2 foam blocks in it. So one foam block there's so much foam that the top foam sticks out of the water. And then I have an enormous, like the largest sponge filter that I could get in there, which I mean, it's way over filtered. And the other one that has a much lower bioload, I've got 2 sponge filters going, like the medium ones, and then I've got an AquaClear 110 going, again with the double foam blocks, and those have been a lot less stable than, like, probably my least filtered is a 20-gallon that has probably too many fish per gallon in it, and I feed it heavy because I'm trying to grow up some bikers in it, and it has a sponge filter, a medium sponge filter, and a single uplift tube on the undergravel filter plate, and crystal clear water, just stable as all get out. The other one I have has a single uplift tube running an undergravel filter plate, again short, not all the way up to the top, and a AquaClear 70, and it's completely stable. So something about a substrate just works for me. And my results might not be what your results are or whatever. Only 45 minutes behind. I beg to differ, sir. I'm at least, I was at 6:06. I am more. I'm like 52 minutes behind. It's getting worse. Kang Kong water spinach, impossible to kill, grows like a weed. I know a few plants like this. But why would I grow it? Like I've got duckweed that I can grow. I've got water lettuce that I could grow. I mean, there's a lot of things that I can grow, but doesn't mean I'm going to harvest it and eat it. Kang Kong versus Godzilla. Nice. Revved up like a deuce. Another runner of the night. Blinded by the light. Revved up like a douche. It's a douche. It's a douche, not deuce. It's a douche. Revved up like a douche. Another runner of the night. He doesn't say deuce. I've listened to that song so many times trying to hear deuce, and it's douche. He says douche. Dehydrated. Sheet metal ribbing on the outside. Aren't those called professional condoms? You would know. My mother was in a movie with Barbara Barry, Barney's wife, for Barney Miller. Oh, pretty cool. FYM, for your motion. Nice. Audited post office and got a sticker from a cop. I got a bunch of stickers from cops. Yeah. Merb, can you set your chickens up with a Bumble type situation so the hens can choose if they want to get dirty with Inigo or Fabio? Could I set them up with, I don't know what a Bumble type situation is. Don't know, don't care. Poster 7, Merb, I should have videoed poster 7. Damn it, I failed. Best audit ever. All of my audits were amazing. Thank you. Law library not open. Is that legal? Well, so the irritating thing is that my fucking money goes to pay for that law library, and portions of filing fees that everybody pays in the county goes to keeping that goddamn law library open. So yeah, it kind of fucking irritates me when my tax dollars are getting wasted and the fucking law library isn't open. Cupcake Rider says, I can't grow land plants, but my fish tank plants do great. I mean, more power to you. I had a long time ago, I had a tank where I threw some, I think I literally just threw like a few junk pieces of Java fern in there, and the whole tank was just blah, full of it. That was it. Like that one tank was just like, oh yeah, I love this. It was just normal, like pea gravel substrate, nothing special. Is there a difference between an esquire and a lawyer in the U.S.? I think UK has different terms for roles lawyers play. My understanding of UK and their colonies is there are solicitors and barristers, and I think it's the barristers that can actually do things in court, and solicitors do paperwork and things outside of court. I'm not entirely sure of all of the nuances, though. As far as esquire or lawyer, a lawyer is someone who has studied law. Generally speaking, it means that you have gone to law school and you have a Juris Doctorate. That's when you're a lawyer. Like technically, a lot of times people will play fast and loose and try to make you think they're an attorney if they're not, by saying I'm a lawyer or whatever. But if they're an attorney is different than a lawyer. An attorney actually is licensed to practice law. So I am licensed to practice law in California. So in California, I am an attorney. If I go to Nevada, I'm a lawyer, but I'm not an attorney. I hope that makes sense. As far as esquire is concerned, anybody who's a lawyer can put esquire behind their name. Different states might have different rules, but in California, it signifies that you're licensed to practice. Verb teaches his clients to STFU. Yes, I do. I do. The police want to come and interview me. What do? Shut the fuck up! You shut the fuck up! Gotta love an apiarist. Yes, I mean, beekeeping is amazing. Hey, it's Flo B. Hi, Flo B. Merb, that was no audit. Didn't hear one. You will fucking respect my First Amendment rights. Screamed at the postman plate. I will do better next time. I will work on it. Devin says, hello, Flo. Jamie says, buying at Best Buy is not buying local. What the fuck? It is buying local if you walk into the brick and mortar store and you pick up the item off the shelf and you pay for it there. Because that means that there's employees who work there locally who get paid to stock the shelves and who get paid to ring you out. That's as close as you can be to buying locally. If you buy from Amazon, they might not have local employees. They probably don't. And they're not going to have the same kind of costs involved. And if you buy at the brick and mortar stores, what I call buying local, when you need something like a power supply, it's more likely to be there. Like, so fish tank wise, I prefer to buy locally. So I buy, if I can, aquarium co-op gear. I have a lot of aquarium co-op gear. I love aquarium co-op gear, and I plan on buying more aquarium co-op gear because aquarium co-op gear is pretty fucking good. I haven't had any issues with any aquarium co-op gear yet, and I'm really enjoying using it. There is a local fish store. It is, I forget the name of it. Aquarium and Reptile Depot. Aquarium and Reptile Depot. They sell aquarium co-op stuff. I don't see it on their little list of providers, but they do carry aquarium co-op stuff. And so I drive my happy ass to Aquarium Depot and I buy from them. And I could just buy from Corey at Aquarium Co-op directly, but I want to make sure that my local stores stay in business so I can go there if my heater breaks or if I need some shit today or I want some shit today, I can go there and buy it. And as a perk, the last time I was there, they still had the battery-powered aquarium air pumps that you can't order from Aquarium Co-op right now. So that was pretty cool. They don't have them anymore. Somebody bought them out. I'm not saying who. D-Man says, Jethro Tool, are you retarded or a Sovsit? I would go with retarded. They are smarter than Sovsit. Wow. Coming out swinging. D-Man, maybe ease into it a bit. Maybe bite Jethro's neck a little bit, you know? Get him in the mood before you slip it in his ass. Man, that's a rough start. Desert Sentinel says, I've used the legal research excuse. Orange Cone says, I have strict rules established on my email account. All email goes to trash. Keeps my inbox neat and tidy. Nice. Bill Cook says, Leonard Skinner or 38 Special? I don't know. I like Leonard Skinner. Coded Friend says, Early Bird gets the word. Logan Sandman says, Skinner. Coded Friend says, who would choose 38 Special? One hit wonder. ICB says, sup, Merb. Hope the pup is doing good. The pups are all doing good. They all had their vet appointments today. And Kenzie, the one that my sister had that I now have, was fucking scary because he hasn't been socialized like my dogs have. Tried to muzzle. He was not happy. Tried to put a muzzle on him. Ooh, it was just all bad. So we've got a prescription for drugs for next time, and he's going to be nice and doped up. Logan says, go Fabio. Big Trouble in Little China says, little bro. Bring back Ronald McDonald. Make USA great again. Didn't know Ronald McDonald went anywhere. Bill Cook says, has Burb never learned to use incognito mode for browsing? Call me old-fashioned, but I don't like porn. I don't like it, so I don't want to do it. And I didn't know you can you do incognito mode on a phone? Maybe. I don't want Florida Sunshine says, what's the best way for an average person to do a criminal background check? Pay someone. There is a unified database. I think the feds maintain a system that all the locals report to. But it's Google, and then check to see if local courthouses to that person have records of that person. Check various counties around them. They have paid services you could use to try to do a background check, but those aren't always accurate, and they don't say they're accurate. I don't know. I'm not really amazing at it. I just fiddly fuck around in free time sometimes to find things, but a lot of times, you know what the best way is let other people do it for you. Like, because Frog and the PK guys, they get shit all the time but you know, they're probably fiddly fucking around. Holy shit, is Merp talking about his mom diddling while being interrupted by chickens? F self-censored ing. Was I talking about my mom diddling? Crazy. Oh, the romance novels? They were historical romance novels. Right, Mom. When I was a kid, we didn't have a TV early on, and what my family would do, what my mom would do, is she'd take me and my sister to the library, and we'd check out as many books as we could check out, and go home and we'd read them. That would be what we would do for the week, because during the summer you go out and play outside, and then it gets hot, and then you're like, I don't want to be outside. We didn't have a TV, so you go outside and you read. There weren't a lot of kids in the neighborhood, at least not our age. So like I read like a madman, and I got to the point where I was reading up. Because you had a limit on how many books you check out, and I was reading all those books in that week, and you'd be out, you'd stuck. You're like, what do I do? So my mom had these historical books that she would like to read, and I grabbed one. I was like, this makes me feel weird. I don't like this. It was very little history in it. I mean, it was set in a time period in the past, like most books are. I mean, there's some that are futuristic, but these were all set in the past, and they were all excuses for him to grab her in his strong hands and blah blah blah. Internet God says Chili has a hot date with Chat GPT in 30 minutes. Again, I don't think he's using Chat GPT in these. I think he's just stupid, and he's trying to do research, and it's not working well. Logan Sandman says Jenny Agutter was Jessica Six in the movie Logan's Run, which was a 1976 American science fiction action film directed by Michael Anderson, starring Michael York, Jenny Agutter, and Richard Jordan. Coda Friend says the Welsh window licker can't do pro boner. His angry inch went limp when his heart rebelled against him. I understand that people who are on like blood pressure meds do have a hard time getting a boner. And that's sad, That's sad. Well, for him, it's sad. For me, it doesn't really bother me. I'm never going to enjoy his turgid penis. Logan says, Code Friends, so we're going with the cardiac arrest for the band name? I really did like the Merkins. The Merkins was a good one. Logan, not sure I'm partial to Dill Dan and the Wet Wipes. I don't know. Dill Dan and the Vagisills? I don't give a fuck whose channel this is. I laughing my ass off. He said wet wipes. Don't get me started at Code Friend. You know how I feel about Dan. Hell, I was on Josh's live the other night showing off my scars. He didn't want me to drop my pants and show him the good ones. Why not? It's kind of racist. Devin, he says, there is plenty of case law. Clearly it's established. It's on my right butt cheek if anyone is interested. No pics, no proof. You know what? I think that's stolen valor. I think you should have to prove it. Just like that other shit dick has to prove it. You should have to prove it. If you're claiming it, prove it. Show the scars, as Josh would say. Show the scars. Damn it, I'm late. Can we start over? Absolutely. You don't run anymore, do you, Mr. Clown? Clown says, I might be preggers. But baby. Logan says my native name is Runs with Scissors. My woman was Walks with Dictionary. Her son, who she claimed was in special needs, was Walks into Doors. That's not very nice. Hello, baby, says Logan. Desert Sentinel says Fabio gets you too. Logan says baby. Hello, baby says we had a German Shepherd named Sticks Like Glue. Mine is Polka Hot Ass. Nice. Ew. Sticks Like Glue is a bad dog name. The cleanup is a bitch. Hello, baby says nothing. Logan says Pocahontas. No, Polka Hot Ass. It was Polka Hot Ass. See? Polka Hot Ass. You mean goes camping with two guys who aren't her husband? Ooh, ouch. Hello, baby says not quite, but something like that. Logan says it's a damn good thing she didn't have a cell phone and YouTube back then. Hello, baby says I gotta go. Catch this later. Logan says we would have had some really good vids if she had Pornhub back then. Coda Friend says if pork is the other white meat, does that mean chicken is the white meat? Well, there's whitefish. And pork isn't white. It's a red meat. Logan says chicken is the bitch you roll at the ass to mouth. Nice. Coda Friend says I've never had an STD. I have my galoshes on when I splash in puddles. Well, good for you. Logan says the sticker pimp has had crabs more than once. Why are you behind the curve? Code of Friend says, grow bed much better than aerobic, is healthier than anaerobic, less ammonia and less sulfur. So I'm trying to get plants into my aquariums. I'm doing a piss poor job, but I'm trying to get plants into my aquariums. So, and I don't think aerobic bacteria is bad, and there's plenty of oxygen for the aerobic bacteria, and anoxic bacteria will it'll use carbohydrates as food, and it will use nitrates as the oxidizer for those carbohydrates, pulling the oxygen off and freeing the nitrogen to turn into nitrogen gas. And so there is no sulfur in an anoxic condition. Anaerobic is probably going to produce sulfur, but what are you going to do? Devney just says, did I just hear a hen say, what the fuck, dude? They're not that good with English yet. We're still working on it. Logan Sandman says, I was talking about chicken and antibiotics, and you're talking about aquaponics, you dick. Desert Sentinel says, you asked why the pigeon wouldn't fly home. He was dehydrated. Well, if you stuff it with stuffing first, that'll help keep the moisture in it. No one wants dry pigeon. Code of Friend says, if you don't eat the greens, then plant chicken feeds, millet, and other large grain grasses. I've got fields full of grass, bro. I've got fields full of grass. See that entire hill going back up there? That side? Entire hill going back up there? There's more grass. There's grass down. I mean, I got grass everywhere, son. Son. Logan says, watch your back, Murbies. One of your hens is sneaking up behind you. I doubt that. Logan says, should I be a sarcastic law student or a constitutional law scholar? Decisions. Both are worth about the same thing, which is nothing. Scissors, the untrustworthy clown, says they probably lock up all the products at the local store by now. Not near me. I mean, in some places they do, in like downtown Sac, but if you go out into Placer County, there's less stuff locked down. It's a higher end clientele. Logan says, unless you live in the boonies, you can't buy local. Walmart is your best bet. I love my Walmartians. I loathe Walmart. I refuse to shop there. I haven't shopped there for, I'm going to say, somewhere around 5 or 6 years. And the one time I did, I needed a battery, and that was the only place locally that had this particular auto battery that I needed. So I had to do it, and I don't like that place. I missed it. You sure can. Thank you. You missed some. You can. A VPN would definitely be more secure, though. Okay. The Fear of Flying by Erica Jong. I know 70s bad books. Poor Piggy LMAO Squab. Well, that's it. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.